So today we will be talking about hypothesis test. So the first part of the hypothesis test is called the null hypothesis. It is represented by HO. In computer science, null means nothing, and in math it means zero. So as the name suggests, null hypothesis is a statement that is currently accepted, or it is a default claim. Consider there is a lady manufacturing candy bars, and she claims that on an average I use 5 nuts in each candy bar. So that is a claim she made, and if we have to write that mathematically, the average of the number of nuts in each candy bar is 5, and this is the default statement. But there is a customer who comes to her and who claims that no, the average is way lesser than that. I don't get to eat 5 nuts in the candy bar every time I buy it. So that is an alternate statement which is challenging the default statement. This is called the alternate hypothesis. It is represented either by H1 or HA. And this is nothing but the mathematical opposite of the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis, which is the default statement or the currently accepted claim. So you can see that I am using a parameter mu here to represent that statement mathematically. And this parameter is called the test statistic. We run a hypothesis test to check which of these two statements is correct. The result of this test can either be rejecting the null hypothesis or failing to reject the null hypothesis. We do not use the term accept because we are taking the null hypothesis and trying to disprove it, or trying to collect evidence to disprove the null hypothesis. Hence, we either reject the null hypothesis or we fail to reject the null hypothesis. And this is the terminology we use when we are dealing with hypothesis tests. This part is running the hypothesis test. So how do we know if which of these two statements is correct? Say that lady has manufactured 100 candy bars. One way obviously would be to take all the 100 candy bars, count the nuts in them, find the average. But that would not make a lot of sense because she would not want to waste all her candy bars. So we take a small sample from it. So our population is 100 candy bars, and the sample we have taken is say 30 candy bars. We've taken 30 candy bars and we've counted the nuts in those 30 candy bars, and we get the mu in this sample to be 4.35. So we get the mean from this sample of 30 to be 4.35. But is this evidence authentic enough to reject the null hypothesis? We don't know, because this is just a sample. There could be sampling errors, or this could just be a random chance. So that is when the concept of p-value comes in. P-value is nothing but the probability of getting this observed value from this sample, provided the null hypothesis is true. Let me put it in a simpler way. The probability of getting this result when null hypothesis is true is what p-value is. If it is still difficult for you to process, you can just think of it as the probability of null hypothesis being true. Because say the p-value is really less and we get this value. So according to the definition, the probability of getting this value, if this is correct, and that probability comes out to be very less, say 0.01 is the p-value. So 1 in 100. Because the probability is very less and we still got this, we can say that the null hypothesis is not true. So let us consider another case when this p-value is not very less, and say it is 0.17. That is 17 out of 100 times we might get this sample test statistic value to be this much. The null hypothesis is true, and that there is a fair chance of that happening. Probably this is one of the events where this 17 is occurring, and this is one of the favorable events. So we can't put our foot down and confidently say that we are able to reject the null hypothesis. If we forget about all this, and if you really want to understand it, just think of it as the probability of null hypothesis being true. So the next question that comes to our mind is, what is the right value for this p? Clearly we've seen that if the p value is 0.01, 1% chance that this is true, so we can straight away go and reject the null hypothesis. But where do we draw the line, and how do we decide what is the right p-value or what is the right cutoff to decide if this can be rejected or not? To do that, we use the level of significance. So basically this value or this threshold marking the cutoff is called the level of significance. This level of significance in 90% or in most of the cases is 0.05. This is a universally accepted p-value used in most of the cases, but in some rare cases we might need more accurate results, or we might need more evidence to disprove the null hypothesis, for which we use an even smaller p-value. So we've seen that the universally accepted p-value is 0.05. So this also means that with 95% confidence I am able to reject the null hypothesis, because 5% chance that this is true, so there is still 5% chance that this is true. So when I am rejecting it, I am only 95% sure. Say if the p-value is 0.02, so if we subtract that from 1, we get 0.98, that is 98%. So if the p-value is 0.02, with 98% confidence, I can reject the null hypothesis. So this percentage here is called the level of confidence. So this is all about hypothesis test. So let's look at everything we've learned. We've learned about null hypothesis, we've learned about alternate hypothesis, we've learned about the test statistic or the statistic that we are supposed to test, or the parameter that gives a mathematical form to the claim. This test statistic mu. And we have learned that to test something, we are working on a sample and not on the whole data. And we've also seen how to check if this sample test statistic would give an authentic value by looking at the p-value, which is nothing but the probability of observing this value for a sample if null hypothesis were true. If the p-value is really less, the probability of getting this value provided the null hypothesis is true is very less. But still we observed this data, or we got this value. Hence we assume that the null hypothesis is not true. Or to make it simpler, we've seen that p-value is the probability of null hypothesis being true, and we've seen that the average value most commonly taken for p is 0.05. If we get a value less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. If we get a value greater than this, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. And we've looked at the cutoff or the threshold, that is called the level of significance. We've looked at level of confidence, which states that with this percent confidence, I can reject the null hypothesis. So this is how you conduct a hypothesis test. So basically, after you run a test, you just look at the p-value and accordingly either reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. There are many applications for hypothesis tests which I'll be covering in the later videos, but this is a very basic concept that's used in almost all the models and also in a lot of other concepts like A/B tests and t-tests, which will be covered in the later videos. Thank you so much.